Robert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 176 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, here with Trevor and Damon. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Morning. Got a holiday weekend here. Well, except for Trevor. Trevor doesn't have a holiday weekend.
Trevor doesn't have a holiday weekend. But
I take mine early, or we get ours early in Canada, so that we can be around when you guys are on holiday. I don't know why we do that.
It's strange, yeah. I mean, listen, I can't expect you to have all the same holidays as us. Like that's
Yeah. A lot of them line up though. That's the funny thing is that some of them are close, but I don't know why this one's a week apart this year.
Yeah, there's really nothing going on either. Soccer is done. Done.
Wow, look at that.
It hurts though. It hurts a little bit. Soccer's done. But it was fun. Like I said, I missed the meetup, but they came in second in the state, so I can't really complain. It was a fun ride, especially for the last tournament to be in the state cup. I think was worthwhile. Again, like I missed out on the meetup, but I never would have gone, right? It never would have gone.
This is 1,000 times more important than the meetup.
It was really nice. Like I said, I'm sure they would have liked to have won, but they got pretty cool stuff too for coming in second. So I cannot complain at all. It was definitely enjoyable. So did that, but there's no more soccer. My son's at swim practice, but my wife took him, and my daughter tennis is over too. So we're kind of hanging out. We're waiting for our lacrosse equipment to arrive. She's going to try lacrosse, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That'll be interesting.
All right. It'll be interesting. My wife played and her whole family played, so we'll see if that helps or not. We'll see what happens.
See how that goes.
Well, totally unrelated, but that is actually the national sport in Canada.
Oh, is it?
Really?
Yeah, it is. I know it's not hockey, believe it or not.
How is that not hockey?
Because it's lacrosse.
That makes sense.
So
I can understand that. Yeah. I mean, lacrosse was a North American sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that totally makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be, I think, more time on the weekends for me going forward, which I don't know if it's good or bad. We'll see. But I'm going to try to pick up some other projects now. So I'm getting back to that attic project. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do a episode by episode of what's in my attic and cleaning it up. It will be either kind of cool or really boring, but at the end of the day, the kids will be able to see it, right? Like I'm doing it kind of for the kids, and if it kind of is interesting for other people, so be it.
Are you going to do this like on video? Like
I'm going to do YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to do it YouTube.
That'll be cool.
So we'll see how that goes. And I'm trying to think about what else. I started a new group. What was a page? Let's see if anyone can find it.
You started a new page? You didn't even tell us this.
What'd you say?
You didn't even tell us this that you started.
Well, it has nothing to do. I mean, it wouldn't be of any interest to you guys. So it's really just, empty nester dads. I feel like there's so many empty nester mom Facebook groups, but like empty nester dads, like, dude, I'm kind of hurt up about like the kids getting older and stuff. So I feel like it was a perfect area for a group. And it was interesting. One of the pages that I'm on is about like college recruiting, and a dad got on there and was like, yeah, like this was tough. Like, my kids are now going to school. They're going to college. They're, he's not watching sports anymore. And he was like all bummed out about it. And I was like, I can kind of commiserate with this, but there's no dad groups on Facebook for that. So let's see if anyone can find it.
Huh.
I'm the only person in it now, but let's see if anyone can find it. I feel like that's
I feel I'll be looking for that group in about 5 years.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be big by then. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Blow up. It'd be really big. Yeah, I just actually our group just hit like 4,000 people, which is funny because I still see messages sometimes of us like being like, "Oh, let's get ourselves to 100 or 500."
Yeah.
No,
that's nice. What I don't here's the things that I just don't understand. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't understand how we have 200 reviews when we have 4,000 people in the group and 8,000 people on the page.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me being, And then I don't realize like we have like almost zero drama in the group, and that's just crazy for a group of 4,000 people.
Well, there's also, I noticed there's some people in the group that aren't aware that the podcast exists.
Wait, really?
Yeah, somebody commented on one of the things and said like, "What is this podcast you guys are talking about? I must have missed it." And it's like, wait, do you not know what? Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Like, that's absolutely awesome.
This reminds me, though, of like the DVC resale market group that they have. And then someone will post in there, does anybody know where I can sell my DVC contract or buy a DVC contract? And everyone's just like, you're literally in a group that's started by a company that buys and sells DVC contracts. Fun. Yeah, it happens all the time. I see it all the time. I just think it's funny that there are people in our group that have no idea that there's a podcast attached to it.
That's funny.
I know, right? Especially since we post so much stuff about the podcast. It's like, how do you not notice that that's happening? But, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, news feeds are funny that way, too. Like some people, they'll join groups and then it never shows up on their news feed. And so they may miss a lot of it. But, it's still funny that, I at least look at what the group is about before I join it. I don't just join random groups, but that's...
So what are the groups you in? So I'm in groups about succulents, Australian shepherds,
succulents,
swimming.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Like those are my weird Facebook groups. Not weird, but like just different than Disney Facebook groups.
My other groups are actually all related to video games. So I have other Disney groups that I'm in.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, the same ones. But then anything that's not Disney is video game related. I actually have a group for a guild for a game, Guild Wars, that I play. There's a Facebook group for that. I'm in a group for Extra Life, which is a charity stream that I've done in the past. And that's about it for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tom in banking groups. Are you in banking groups now?
No, God, no. No, I am in really just Disney groups. And then the only one that's a non-Disney group is like a group for my neighborhood, where people post videos of dogs pooping on their lawns, and then not getting cleaned groups. Up, Yeah. That's essentially what all everything that's in that group. Although I do enjoy
has your dog ever been to one of those videos?
No, no, definitely not. But that's mostly what the group is. It's like, does anybody know why there's a fire truck down the street? Or, hey, here's a video of some teenagers, messing up my yard or, something.
Yeah.
These kids are walking through my yard. Get them off my yard. Like that's like half the posts in there. So
I'm sure.
But no, most I don't really use Facebook that often. I really only use it to do some of the Disney groups and interact with our people on our group. So I'm not a big social media person. So that's But I mean, I'm not in any weird groups though. I'm not really not in any weird groups. I wish I was.
We should all be part of the Optimus Hall group, I feel like.
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah.
So let's see. So I'm going to be in
there.
What'd you say?
I've never been there. I don't know.
You need to come out to Charlotte. That needs to be the next flight.
Well,
so I'll be in Charlotte.
When flights
twice.
are cheap, sure.
They are?
No, when they're cheap.
Oh, when they're cheap, yeah. So I'll be in Charlotte for the Chelsea game, which we got tickets to.
Which I may or may not go to. I got to talk. My sister's coming here today, and she's a huge Chelsea fan, and I'm talking.
Okay, well, the tickets we got, unfortunately, are obviously already at that level. I think are sold out. We're not. I mean, you could StubHub them, but I want to say we got them for like $1.60. I think they're like $4 something now.
Okay. Wow. Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
Are those like really good seats though? Or are you like, like midfields, like,
No, I wish midfield. Oh my goodness. You couldn't touch midfield. So we're the football 20, but we're down in the first section.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind with being in the upper deck. That's fine with me. I mean, it's a football.
Yeah. I think
it holds
like
80,000 people. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would do that.
So we'll be there for them, be there for a swim meet. So I'm going to see Tom at least once or twice during those times and everyone else that's in Charlotte. And then we're going to Dollywood over 4th of July. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go to that lumberjack park. I think we're going to do hillbilly golf because there's nothing better than hillbilly golf. Probably the best mini golf that's ever been put on this planet.
Really?
And then, and then probably do go-karts. And then I feel like I don't even need to go to Dollywood. I don't think I'm going to go to Dollywood because I don't think there's anything there that I haven't seen, really.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do that. And then we're debating this trip in August to Disney because I still have those tickets, which hopefully I can still use, right? Yep. So we're kind of tossing around a Disney trip in August, the beginning of August. I'm not sure about that one, but we're already planning a June 23 trip. So with my oldest and one of his friends, the dad is a huge Disney person. They bought into Disney DVC because of us. I think they have a Grand Floridian contract. Nope. Just one? Yeah, just one, I think. But we're talking about doing a vacation when the kids come home for their first year of college in June. So I think we're going to do a 3-bedroom split stay in June.
Oh, wow. June next year, though.
Yeah, 23.
Next year, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. That'll be good.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And Tom, when are you going again?
I'm going in first week of October. So I'm there from the 1st of October to the 11th of October.
Okay. If I do August, it's going to be in the beginning. And Trevor, when's you don't have anything next to you?
No, we first week in November.
November
is ours. Yeah.
Yeah, I really gotta I haven't done any planning or anything yet. I mean, which I'm still pretty far out, right? Like I still have 4 months here.
I'm decided if I'm going in August, and I feel like that's still far out. Yeah,
I'm already thinking about next year, and I'm actually waffling back and forth a little bit on. I may actually make an attempt at doing a Disneyland trip next year.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Nice. And the experiment will be how hard is it really to get Grand Californian?
Yeah,
because we may hold off. Like I may wait for the tower to be built, but we've been talking back and forth about it because we haven't been to Disneyland in a while. So
I thought you really can't get anything unless you own there.
It's pretty difficult.
Apparently people still are able to snag 7 months and waitlist it and stuff. So there is still an outside chance, and that's kind of where I'm going to go with the experiment is I think we may book something. Like I'm still going to plan for something in Florida next year, but I'm going to, if I can get a Disneyland trip lined up, then I may cancel the Florida trip and do that.
I would agree because, AKA foreshadowing, I'm a little upset that we're going to get some bounty hunters at Disneyland and not World.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I just thought it was weird that it was Disneyland only. We're going to talk about it, but yeah,
I didn't because of where it is.
Yeah, I guess so, but we'll have to see. We'll maybe it's just they just announced it for that, but we'll talk about it. Do you guys want to start with questions?
Yeah, I think we've kind of answered at least one of these partially.
Yeah, we answered B, Francisco's question, kind of, right? So
you answered it for me, even though it's stated towards Damon.
You
Damon,
answered
comma,
you answered it.
Answered? Nice.
You said what your plans were. You said you just said your plans going forward. So, but
I mean, nothing about Hilton Head and Vero though.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't. I mean,
we're going to start there now. Now that you got me all invested in it.
Okay, well, we'll start with.
Are you interested? So. It is interesting. Am I interested in going back to Walt Disney World? Like, not so much, but I'm interested in seeing if I can continue to use my tickets, right? Like, that's more of what it is because I already have tickets from 2 years ago. Let's see if I can use them. But am I really interested in going back? Not really. I was having this discussion at the award ceremony for high school, like I said, with this person that we're going to do this June trip with. What's there? Like, Tron, I'm interested in. I will tell you that I'm definitely interested in that. I am not really interested in. So let's see. I haven't been to the Mickey and Minnie's train stupidness. I haven't been there. I haven't been.
What? I thought you were looking forward to that one though. Because
I am more so than some of the other ones. But I'm just again.
You haven't done Rise of the Resistance yet either.
I haven't done Rise of the Resistance. Really, super not interested in that. Just because my wife's super not interested in that, and that just turns its own situation. Ratatouille, I feel like. Is a bunch of screens. Like I had to sit real close to the movie theater. That screen, I'm good. What's the last one? What else is there?
Guardians.
What?
Yeah.
Guardians. Yeah.
Again,
a rip-off time traveler. No interest.
That's totally fair, Damon. Like I get your feelings on that, but I hope you'll at least go and try these things and either confirm or deny your impressions.
Sure. I mean, I'm going to go on them, but I have no draw to need to go. So that's, I guess, what it is. So if I go in August, okay, fine, so be it. But if I don't, I'm not Tron is the one I want to go on. Tron is the one where I may actually have to call in favors to go on early. That may be the one. Outside of that, not so much. Not so much. I'm not about screens, man. I'm not about screens. What I find so funny is that all these Disney people that used to rant and rave about Universal and the use of screens, right? That was their big knock on Universal. I mean, but Disney's doing the same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Although I'll say Rise of the Resistance has some screens, but it's more physical sets. But it's, And I mean, Mickey and Minnie's is kind of a combination of both.
it's a hard thing, right? Like I get your point, Damon, that Disney kind of jumped on that boat with Universal because it's cheap and it gets it gets them what they want without having to invest a bunch in practical effects. So
sure.
I
get that. But I get where it does feel like it diminishes the overall experience. But I will say, Tom and I going on Ratatouille was still a great experience. And I mean, that could have also been because I have been in Disney withdrawal for 2.5 years. And that was the first ride that I went on.
It's a fun ride, though. Like
it is. I
kind of have to laugh and have a good time on it, Like it's,
Yeah, I'm just looking for, a little bit more of a push. So let's see. So back to Vero and Hilton Head. So, man, I don't know if I'm going to see myself at Vero anytime soon. I just was not a huge fan. Hilton Head is tough because, again, right, like I can go there and stay at somebody's house. So we may have done our last Hilton Head DVC trip. Maybe. I mean, I loved it, but maybe not because, it gets a little weird when, you're going to visit the grandparents, and it's not necessarily our house. So if the kids want to bring friends, it kind of gets a little, again.
It's nice to have some separation. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe, I'd love that resort an awful lot. So I don't know. I don't see Vero happening. And
I get that.
Alani, I don't know, man. Like I think about, this is going to sound terrible, but I feel like if I was going to do Hawaii, like I wouldn't do DVC.
Oh, really?
I don't think I would do it. No.
Yeah, Alani's like, I've heard so many great things about Alani, but
but if you're in Hawaii, are you there to stay at a DVC resort, or are you there to experience Hawaii?
Yeah, but you can still experience Hawaii and stay at that resort. I just look at it as that part of the trip being paid for.
I don't know. I this is going to sound terrible because I've never been there, but I feel like I'd want to stay somewhere a little bit more luxurious. And I don't know, and that's just totally just going off a gut check. I know nothing.
I don't know, man. I should look into Alani because I think Alani's fairly luxurious, but I don't really know. I haven't been there.
Like I just feel like I have not. Like I would say that out of all the hotels that I've been to in my life, I don't think DVC is the most luxurious.
Sure, I get that.
That's the only thing I'm going off of. That's all.
The most luxurious. I don't know. I feel like if you stayed at Riviera, just based on us walking through the lobby, you might change your mind on that.
I feel like does the luxury aspect of a hotel mean less people? It kind of does to me, like a little more exclusivity. I don't know. Like I don't know. That's just me.
So wait, it just depends on your definition. Sorry, Trevor. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I get what you're saying, Damon, because I've stayed in some hotels like, close to me, like in Banff and Canmore, and they've had much nicer amenities than Disney. But the reason that I still go to Disney is because it's Disney, and it's not, you can overlook certain things about the room accommodations that elsewhere I would,
absolutely,
I would care about a little more. So that's fair. I agree with you. I think there is nicer places to stay, but if I'm going to Disney, I'm specifically going there for Disney. So DVC absolutely makes sense still.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So back to question A now.
Kevin. Yeah. Back to question A.
All right. So if you were to get married to your significant other in Disney, where would you hold the ceremony or reception? Would your significant other agree with your choices? Okay. I think weddings are a waste of money. It's like 100%.
I'm taking Kevin's question as like money is not in this equation, right? So like,
no, it has to be because that definitely dictates choice. Now it can be pretend money. I'm good with that.
Pretend money, yeah.
But even at pretend money, I'd rather have that money. Like I think weddings are a waste. I think diamonds are a waste. I think that they're a waste. I go through this all the time. Like we had a very small wedding, right? Church, restaurant, reception. Okay. Took the rest of the money that we got from everybody and put it towards a house because that just makes more sense. So I'm not a big wedding person in general. So I don't necessarily, I'd have it at the Yak and Yeti. I'd be good. Boom. Done.
Yak and Yeti.
Nice.
And I'm good.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. All right.
I think I mentioned on the last episode when we were doing the trip recap is that when we were when we were at Epcot, there was a
reception.
There was a wedding reception going on at Epcot.
In front of Italy.
Yeah, it was like right in front of Italy. You know how there's those little sections where there's like steps that go down and like it's right on the water. So you can rent those out. So that was like when we first arrived to Epcot from the Skyliner, there was maybe like 50 to 60, 70 people just standing around at the entrance to Epcot. Yeah, and they were all dressed really nice. Yeah. And we were like, what the hell's going on? So but then those people ended up going to like the little roped off area down there, and they had like little the table set up and everything. So I mean, I would love to do something like that. I would have loved to do back when they did this, and I don't know if they do this in Anywhere Rides, but it used to. We talked about this a couple shows ago, where you could do your reception inside one of the rides. They used to do it in like Universe of Energy and Great Movie Ride, where you could do it in one of the rides. That would be super cool to do.
I don't know,
but that's not a current thing you could do, though.
That's not a current thing you could do, but I guess current thing you could do, I would do what those people did at Epcot, right?
Like I do the water park. I'm reneging on mine. I do the water park. How's that?
Do a water park wedding?
I would be on board with that. I would be on board with the water park day and wedding reception as part of it. Yeah.
So wait, are you getting married in like tuxedo
in the wave pool? Waist up. Waist down. Party time. Waist down's party time. Your bathing suits on.
So you're not wearing like somehow a tuxedo like wetsuit or something like?
No. I'm wearing a tuxedo crop top, Ezekiel Elliott style, right, with a bathing suit.
and you're doing your vows on Humunga Cowabunga.
No, in the wave pool. I'm getting married in the wave pool.
In the wave pool. Oh man, the poor person that has the officiant that has to stand there.
You're both floating on tubes with the
exactly.
That's amazing. I love this. Yeah. I love this idea. It's excellent. I'm always amazed at the people that like straight up rent out Magic Kingdom and like do their wedding in front of the castle. Like I don't know how much that costs, but it's got to be an absurd amount of money to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but what those people did at Epcot, I thought was pretty cool. Like, and I mean, that was still set up while Harmonious was going on, wasn't it, Trevor? Like, I think they had
they had like prime viewing for Harmonious and Harmonious.
Harmonious. Yeah.
So they were there like all afternoon into the evening. So
it looked like a very fancy affair. It looked like a very fancy affair. Yeah. Yeah, Trevor, did you do yours? Good.
No, personally, I would. I mean, you guys know me. I've talked about this with my wife. Possibly renewing our wedding vows and just going on the beach at the Poly is, keep it simple. Like we don't have to reserve anything or whatever. Just go and do something small on the beach, just for us, and maybe dinner at Ohana afterwards for kind of a reception. But yeah, like I'm with you, Damon. I'm not a huge like big party person, and I kind of don't see the value in spending a lot of money on that stuff either. When similar things is we put money from our wedding towards our house as well. So yeah, it's I would keep it simple.
It's interesting. I think my wife and I priced out the wedding pavilion at Disney, and it actually wasn't much more expensive than what we did anyway. But after I left you, Trevor, when you went to go take a nap, I was too lazy to walk to the TTC because it was really hot out. So I hopped on and plus I wanted to ride the monorail. So I hopped on the Resort Loop monorail. And as I was doing that, when I went by Grand Floridian, they had the Cinderella, the whole like carriage, the horse-drawn carriage out.
Right. Yeah. I remember we talked about this, and you didn't you say something about just renting the carriage just to ride around?
Yeah. It was like they have like 4 white horses. Like it's very fancy, and they were just, they got the guy in like the top hat, sitting there to drive it. It was very like Cinderella-y, and it was just sitting there waiting. Like I didn't actually see it moving. I just saw it's sitting there, I guess, waiting for the bride and groom or whatever at the Grand Floridian. So it just looked really cool. And there was like people were like walking over to like check it out because it is very cool when you look at it from afar. So So anyway, but I'm not really into weddings either. I don't really. I feel like we need a female perspective on this one. None of us care. So
one of the follow-ups to that question was, would our spouses agree? I know my wife agrees with me because we we have talked about. We are on the same page, but yeah. So I don't think there would be much to offer there. But anyway, let's Katie's question.
Is this a joke because Damon got called ramen in that review?
Of course,
that doing this? Yeah, okay. Katie wants to know what our favorite flavor of ramen noodles are. XO, love you guys. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah.
I don't eat ramen noodles, so I'm out on this.
Chicken. Always chicken.
See, I like pork. I like a classic pork ramen.
I do like pork as well, but I think chicken's easier to get, so it's just a staple.
You're right. In North America, it is. I've eaten a lot of Japanese ramen, and pork is always my favorite.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with your line of reasoning, but I think for regular off the shelf, however many cents a pack ramen, I gotta go chicken.
Chicken's a safe bet. That's
yeah. All right, so Lee wants our guesses for opening date for Tron. And I feel like it's almost ready enough for that it's going to be done by the end of the year, but I feel like they would have announced that by now. And I also feel like they don't like opening new rides like October, November, December, because they already have enough going on that they don't need to draw people to Magic Kingdom. You know what I mean? Like they with the Halloween parties and stuff, and the Christmas party, I feel like they don't. I mean, they're not just going to let it sit there unopened, I guess. So they did that with Ratatouille, but they're not going to just let it sit there unopened if it's done, right?
I was going to say, didn't they open Ratatouille in the fall?
Yeah, I guess they did. I'm trying to remember exactly when it opened, but I don't off the top of my head. But I mean, it looks like it's almost done. We just don't know what the inside looks like. Although when they showed that one launch video, it looked like there was no theming done yet on the inside. It looked like it had a lot of work still. Is
there going to be a lot of theming for this, or is it? Or
yeah, there's a fair amount of theming, on the inside. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lighting. There's mirrors. There's all sorts. I mean, I've watched the videos of it, so
I don't feel that stuff is going to take as long as you think. And also, from what we saw, they are definitely on track for a lot of the outdoor, the pathway and that kind of theming. The indoor stuff I feel is happening at the same time, and we're just not seeing it because they don't have to wait for one or the other to do that kind of stuff. My gut, I'm feeling September 30th, end of September is what I'm feeling. They're going to do something, be like, hey, going into the holiday season, Tron is now a thing. And I think, they'll totally disregard the fact that there's, the, Halloween and everything going on, because this is still, it's going to be Lightning Lane and Virtual Queue to begin with anyway.
Yeah. Well, and to your point, Ratatouille opened October 1st, right? So it's I guess they could do it. I just feel like with how much goes on at Magic Kingdom during that time of year, it's they usually like to use these openings to drive people to the parks, right? And I just don't feel like they need it, but at the same time, they want to open that ride, right, as soon as they can. I just think it's weird it hasn't been announced yet. I feel like it should be announced by now.
So here's a bit of an interesting thought. Do you think they care which park a ride is actually opening at anymore? Because I know you're saying, it drives traffic to that park, but it's going to drive traffic to all the parks because, people are going to go for Tron, but they're going to hit up other parks too.
Well, there's also, though, too, that, they actually might want to open it during that time, too, because the way that they're managing capacity right now, they actually said this recently, straight out said that them opening Guardians of the Galaxy, the Cosmic Rewind, actually adds to the capacity of the park. So, which means more park passes, right? More of the park reservations available. So maybe they want to open it so they can, up the capacity too, right? I don't know. You know what though? I don't disagree with you. I would say fourth quarter this year. I would think by June or July they're going to announce something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, June is pretty much right around the corner, so maybe by July. But I mean, like you said, Trevor, when we were there, I mean, it's mostly built on the outside. They're just starting to pave the walkways, and you could see the tunnel where the train's going to come through. And I saw some articles that they're laying train tracks. So. I mean, we're getting there. There can't be that much left to be. I mean, again, we don't know what it looks like on the inside, right? We really don't. But it can't be that far behind at this point. They're already testing the vehicles, so it's got to be sometime soon, I would think. I'm going to guess this year, though. I kind of agree with you.
I'm like I said, I'm just feeling like fourth quarter, September 30th, or October 1st, whatever, same as Ratatouille, they'll do something. And then that also lines up with, again, it's not a major anniversary, but it is the 51st.
Yeah.
So,
September 30th is a Friday too, right? So they like to do Fridays. So, yeah. Damon, were you going to say something?
I just watched the Shanghai one again to see how interested I was, and then I got clicked through on this other coaster in Sydney called the Big Dipper, and I was like, why haven't we had this sort of ride before? It's a launch coaster.
Yeah.
But what's kind of cool about it, it's one person per row.
Oh yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, there's Six Flags Great Adventure has one like that now. It's Jersey Devil
Jersey
coaster.
Great Adventure.
Yeah, the Jersey Devil coaster. It's a one person row. It's like a, what do they call it? It's a single rail. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I haven't been to Great Adventure in so long.
That one just opened though. That one opened this year. So yeah, it looks crazy. Like if you watch videos of that one, it looks nuts. Even though it's not like. Yeah,
I think from a Disney standpoint, the problem is that you're just not getting as many people through.
Yeah, capacity. Yep.
But gosh, that seems pretty neat.
Yeah, the single rail coaster. I feel like that's a trend lately. Yeah. Yeah, watch that Jersey Devil.
Going backwards a little bit, but
yeah, it does feel like it's going. Yeah, but it seems like it's a lot more of a, kind of to Damon's point. It's like it's almost more of a. I don't want to say more of a personal experience, but it feels like because you're by yourself.
No, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Trevor, what's 75 kilometers in miles per hour?
So I want to say, oh gosh, you're going to put me on the spot here. I want to say around 50, something like that. Okay. Maybe even less.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Jersey Devil coaster.
62.
Okay. I can't. I just don't think I can get involved with this one.
Yeah,
I don't really like putting
crazy, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, I really don't like putting myself on any ride that has the word devil in it.
Okay.
I'm just kind of like that. Like I'm just not really about that.
How'd you get 62 miles? It's 46 miles per hour.
Was it?
Yeah, 75 kilometers is 46 miles.
I did a quick Google.
Maybe you did it backwards.
Oh, no, you're right. I looked at the wrong thing.
Yeah.
This one looks a little too crazy for me. The world's tallest, fastest, longest single rail coaster.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, dude, I watched the video of that and I was like, yeah, no. That looks like terrifying.
It has a devil on the front of the...
Yeah, it does.
Of the carts.
The trains look cool, though. They look cool. I think.
Yeah, you're just asking for trouble. No, thanks. I'm good.
I feel Damon's seen Final Destination.
I'm looking at all these rides. I haven't been to this park in so long.
Yeah, we always had annual passes when I was a kid. Because Great Adventure was expensive to go if like you just wanted to go for a day, but like the annual passes were not that expensive unless you had the can, right? Do you remember the cans, Damon?
Soda can, yeah, all the time, yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe they ever did that. So Trevor, there was a thing where like you would bring there was like a certain soda can like in the area that if you brought that soda, was it like buy one get one free at one point? Like it was, it was. Yeah, You had to bring the can, and it was like buy one get one free. So
what they do with all those cans?
I guess I would hope recycled them. I wonder if they still do that. I don't know. I haven't been to back there in a long time, so I have no idea. But
it looks like you can get a discount. So I'm looking at the Six Flags Great Adventure. It says $10 off with a can of Coca-Cola.
Oh wow, okay. It used to be way better than that, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So there's an online discount for $16 with Coke, but that doesn't seem as awesome as bringing the can. I agree. No. And did you ever have to get a can that you didn't drink out of?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I don't remember ever doing that. No.
I remember something like people not having cans and just like, there's cans in that dumpster. We're gonna have to get them. We're gonna have to do it.
Man. That was such a funny promotion back in the 90s.
It was.
Yeah, our local theme park had food bank donations for
That's discounts, probably a better way to do things.
Yeah. It was a lot nicer than bringing dirty cans, for sure.
Yeah. That's a much better thing to do. But anyway, yeah, that's funny. I'm glad you remember that, Damon, because I was trying to find something, look back at that, but yeah.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah, sorry.
So Dan says, before you leave for a trip, flying in particular, but also driving, how do you prepare for the travel entertainment, books, magazines?
Put magazines in there?
Magazines, download TV shows. Back in the 90s, Electronic Gaming Monthly was my magazine of choice for
I love that magazine.
Oh yeah, it was
such a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get that. And then again, I was Amiga person, right? So all the Amiga magazines and stuff like that. But then what was the super duper big one where you could buy parts out of too, but it was printed on newspaper, but it was like huge. It was like oversized.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I remember seeing that on the shelf.
Like half of it was ads, but it was awesome if you were like, I'm going to build a new machine. Like I remember.
Or you order all the parts and.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a huge one. So yeah, I mean that's back in the day. We used to do that, but who had car bingo with the sliding windows, right? We used to do that.
Oh yeah, we used to do that. Yeah,
It used to be magazines and books and stuff. Now it's easy though. Now the kids just take their phone. They have unlimited Wi-Fi. They just watch whatever they want.
Yeah.
We so in the past, like when our son was younger, we would take the tablet and we would load up the tablet with his favorite shows. But as he's gotten older, and even on this last trip that I took, my entertainment of choice is my Nintendo Switch. So I always end up looking for like a couple of relatively cheap games, something I can get for, $10, $15. I'll put those games on because usually like I can play through one of them in like 6 to 8 hours. And because it's a 5-hour flight, like it works out that I can, play through a game that I wouldn't otherwise sit down and play because I don't, have 5 straight hours of not doing anything most of the time in my life.
I usually do, like I said, I'll do movies now if I'm not the one driving. The kids will do movies and stuff like that. My son will usually write music. My daughter will sometimes draw. But other than that, there's a lot of sleeping that goes on now when driving. There's a lot of that.
Same for us on the plane. We've all learned to, you can nap for a little while.
We do audiobooks sometimes. It just depends. Like we did I read The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I read one of the other ones, I feel like. But, you don't necessarily run through all of them. So stuff like that we'll do, like classic books that you just didn't finish the whole series, something along those lines. We did that the past couple of times. I forget all the books in the series, but we did some of those. We've done audiobooks.
The Narnia books, you mean?
Yeah, but I forget the name of the one we were actually listening to last. And then
Dawn Treader.
No, one that there's no movie for.
Oh,
right, because you forget how many are actually in that.
Yeah, there's 7 books in the series, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that, or I do I just listen to fantasy football stuff. Like I'll do that usually depending on what time of the year, especially in August if there's not much else going on. So yeah, we kept Sirius in one of the cars that we drive in usually, but we actually took it out of the other 2 cars because there's just no point really.
Yeah, no, it's just stream your music. If you want to listen to music, it's. I mean, I like to listen, like you said, I like to listen to audiobooks and podcasts, and I a lot of times I'll go in and find a podcast like that I haven't listened to in a while and download like a bunch of episodes. Like actually on my trip to Florida, I downloaded a bunch of Conan O'Brien's podcasts. Just listen to that, a bunch of interviews, just found a bunch I liked and just made a playlist so I don't have to tinker with it while I'm driving and just let it go. So I listen to those and, audiobooks whenever I can. I mean, when I'm on a plane though, like I usually, like you guys were talking about, I usually like to like watch a movie or like watch a TV show or something like that. So yeah. So Vicky asked via Discord, what combo of offerings would make you willing to go on a DVC member cruise? Itinerary, ship, freebies, merch, members cost per point, etc.
The only thing that a member cruise could offer me is not being able to go with my wife and her not get motion sick. So
it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So really, I don't have any stake in this question.
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to have something special about it. Maybe special food. I mean, the food's always really, really good, but like maybe special stuff that they're not going to make again. Freebies, I don't care about. Merch, I definitely don't care about. Itinerary, I mean, you can do any itinerary you want anyway at some point. So I don't know if there could be a different itinerary. That doesn't make too much sense. Unless it was like a Castaway Key 5 days. I could do that. Other than that,
are you going to do another cruise anytime soon, Damon? Or are you like out on cruise?
Yeah, when there's no more COVID, come see me about a cruise. Until then, no, thank you.
I figured,
not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. We did the 2-day Castaway Cay, like there and back, and that one was awesome. But the cruise price was so expensive because of that. Yeah. Like they definitely get you, but that was probably the best cruise. Well, actually, I don't know, because the 7-day cruise was really nice too. I don't know. I don't necessarily think I want to be on a cruise full of DVC members, do I?
I mean, I don't have a particular need to do a DVC cruise, right? Like, there's nothing that's going to make me specifically do it unless it's like somehow less expensive than other things, right? Like, if it were less expensive, then sure, I'm in. But like, I don't know. I don't get like excited about exclusive merch or like,
exclusive food might make me excited.
Exclusive food, yeah. I like exclusive food, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I feel like if you're like, one of the cool things about being on a cruise is everyone's like kind of so different. And not to say that every DVC member is the same, because they're not, but I feel like you're just a little more same.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, but you do also have something to talk about with everybody, at least, like,
I mean, I don't really want to talk to anyone anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
All right, do we want to do Chris's question then? I mean, I think we answered this one, right? Trevor, you want to do this one?
So Chris says, what if instead of Genie Plus flat rate fee everything, there could be individual Lightning Lane purchases, like if Barnstormer was $1, Pirates was $3, Splash was $5, and so on. I'm basing this on so many people paying $15 a person saying they got like 3 to 4 rides out of it. If everything was a fee, you could truly decide which lines were worth the cost of skipping and which are not. P.S. We got really great use out of Genie Plus, he says. So
I feel like $15 is a reasonable price, though. Like, if
that's already what it is. I feel like,
yeah. Like, I mean,
we're back to the ticket books, though. If we do this,
that's exactly right.
That would be great, though.
Yeah, they're back to the ticket books, right? Like, that's kind of where we're at.
I feel like what happened there, though, is that you would get rides that would get no love, and then I don't know, just
yeah. Well, that was like the FastPass video that what is it, Defunctland did, right? Like, they talked about this, how FastPass all of a sudden made some rides that were not popular before, all of a sudden made them popular because people would book them because that's what was available, right? Like, so yeah, it's interesting though, like the idea of the ticket book, right? Like, and I'm used to, not to do like an all like just talking about Jersey episode, but like, when we go down the shore, like, you'd have like the rides there, like that you'd have to buy tickets. Like, that's what you do. You bought like a
carnival.
Yeah, you bought like a little book of tickets, and like, this ride costs 5 tickets and this ride costs 3, and but like, I get why people also don't want to pay more, right? They already paid a lot of money to get into the park, right? And then you got to pay more on top of that.
But what if that just was your entrance fee? Like, what if it was just rebranded? Like, hey, it costs...
Everything is cost per ride.
Yeah.
Then I may as well just go to the park. I may as well just go to the Calgary Stampede, because that's exactly what that is at that point.
Yeah, but the Calgary Stampede doesn't have Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's Chuck Wagons.
But at the same time, though, Trevor and I, like, I saw this, somebody said, like, oh, why am I going to pay for more things when I pay for a ticket? And I get that. Like, but you're not paying to go on the ride. You're paying to skip the line on the ride, right?
Yeah,
like,
this is true. Yeah, I guess, you're right. This isn't that we're going back to... you have to pay to get on the ride. It's you're optionally paying to skip the line.
I still just think the paper fast passes were the most elite,
pinnacle.
The pinnacle. It combined your knowledge plus your stamina and strength to get such things. Like, how is there anything better than that?
But why does it have to be a physical competition in order to cut the line?
Why does it not have to be?
Because we win at it.
Listen, here's the thing. What do they say? The United States is the most unhealthy place, right? Sure. Like, okay, so why can't we get a little physical activity in our Disney?
Yeah, but
you're telling me that in your group you don't have anybody? Send your daughter.
But I walk 10 miles a day already when I'm at Disney. When Trevor and I were there, we walked 9 or 10 miles on both those days.
That's just being soft, man. I'm sorry.
I feel you on this one, Damon, because I was the one. My family was in Tomorrowland, and we wanted Splash Mountain fast passes, and I ran across Disneyland
with everyone's tickets, mind.
Yeah, I ran across, with all the tickets, went grabbed the fast passes, and then it was okay. Great, we got a fast pass. We got to be back there in 2 hours. So then I ran back across the park.
Was there anything better sounding than that plunk sound of the FastPass coming out.
But I could do all this on my phone in 5 seconds instead of running all the way across the park and wasting my vacation.
But it's not tactile, though.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not tactile, and it separates the weak from the strong. I'm sorry.
So wait a sec. Okay, let me ask you this then. Okay, so what if you could make the reservation on your phone and then go to a physical location, tap your phone, and it prints out the ticket for you? Then are you
That's
okay?
Not the same.
No,
because you didn't achieve it the same way you did running.
Absolutely.
But you still have to get the. I mean,
there is nothing more satisfactory in Disney's history of histories than running across the park, hearing that plunk sound at Toy Story Mania. Yeah. There's nothing more satisfying than that.
I cannot abide by this. This is ridiculous.
Well, you're just going to have to be wrong then.
Knowing where the FastPass booths are because everyone else is going to the front of the ride.
Do you remember when they turned the FastPass? The FastPass booths used to be in the front of Toy Story Mania, and they turned them around the side, and people just lost their mind.
So I never saw that in Disney World, but I saw similar things happen in Disneyland. Actually, Radiator Springs Racers, they did that. They put them outside of Cars Land next to the Bugs Life Land.
Yep.
And everyone was running to Cars Land, and there was a few of us that knew enough to hang left and go hit up the FastPass kiosk. And then everyone doubled back and realized that they needed to get in line for the FastPass.
Oh, you're right, because when you got in the park originally, you would go right to a FastPass with the tickets of everyone else. Yes, because you would cross over the threshold of rope drop, grab everyone's tickets.
Oh, I had them in my hand already. We prearranged, and it was like, you're going here, I'm getting the FastPasses. We meet.
It was like the ultimate dad mission.
These were football plays. You were
doing
the
dad
plays,
mission.
Right? Yeah,
I miss that. I really, truly do miss that.
Tom's just shaking his head going, what are you guys doing?
I feel like you guys prefer telegrams to emails. It's
not the
2022.
It's an adventure. It was such an adventure. And it
truly was an adventure. Yes. It was a dad adventure.
Yeah.
Don't you get that same feeling though now trying to get into a virtual queue? It's the same kind of, it's the same thing.
That's stressful.
Yeah, that's
it wasn't stressful running across the park and then maybe not even getting a FastPass.
But it felt better when I got in front of the people with their strollers because I was by myself and I knew my family was taken care of.
How was that not stressful running across the park?
It was the best thing
not
ever.
even knowing if you're going to get the pass or not. Because
the shirt might have to change. It might be about paper fast passes now, everybody. I don't know.
We'll work that in.
No, this is ridiculous. So maybe we just have to have a reference to the paper fast passes in the shirt. That's
We'll put some booths somewhere in the. Obviously, we've been talking about a shirt, folks. If you haven't figured that out.
Oh yeah, we forgot that we talked about that before we started recording.
We'll put some. We'll find somewhere to put some FastPass booths. Like the kiosks.
Even a ticket or something. Yeah, I mean, I did like the old design of the tickets, and I will say this: I did like when you just were walking around and someone randomly was like, "Hey, do you want 2 fast passes for whatever?" I can't.
Oh yeah, we got that nice too. Though. Yeah,
I liked that. Yes, that was nice. But I'm also live in 2022, and I can do everything on my phone. I want to do everything on my phone. It's like I don't want to I don't want to possibly lose these tickets out of my pocket.
You know what my mom just said to me today, because they're going to Disney. When are they going? Are they going to Hilton Head first? But they're going to Disney. She's like, "What if somebody didn't have a phone?" And I was like, "Well,
there's other ways to do it." Yeah, I mean, there's you could go to the guest experience people and they can hook you up with stuff too. So
yeah, but then the problem with that is. When we all had the paper fast passes, we were all playing the same game.
Yep.
Well, the issue now is if somebody doesn't have a phone. Well, we were it was a game.
You should have trained, Tom.
No.
Trained for it.
No, that's not what I mean. And this is one of the things they brought up in the Defunct Land thing. If you knew, then you could take advantage of the system.
Yes,
but the majority of people did not know.
But that's
how to use the system.
That's the whole point of the game, though, is that it's understanding the system and understanding how to use it. Everybody does this even now with that point still stands because people still do that with the phones and with
sure
with
there's still
tricks,
stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So as long as everyone's on the same playing field, you still have a responsibility to do your own research, and if you don't know all the rules of the game. that is on you.
What if it was a lottery? What if it was a straight up lottery, and randomly when you walked in the park for that day, you got 3 things?
What, they just like gave you something random?
Yeah,
just 3 random fast passes.
Just 3 random fast passes,
and then you trade, and then
you could trade.
Yeah,
everyone's on the same playing field though, because it's all totally random.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to like pre-select what rides you like, though, right? Like, because if you got
that, that very quickly turns into like,
you can trade, but that's it. Random lotto.
Then that lucky person that gets Tron is I'll trade you 3 meals and your Small World for
that sounds
Tron,
awesome.
Right?
I'm on vacation. I just want to go on, just like relax and not be trading stuff.
No, do you guys ever play?
Not Mickey scalping stuff in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. and Tom, I don't know. Again, you weren't huge video games. Trevor, did you ever play Mule?
I don't know.
Yeah, I did on the Nintendo, right?
No, way before that. Look it up.
It was on the Nintendo.
Was it eventually?
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't originally on Nintendo. That game is like old.
Okay,
but it's the same thing, like when you're like selling food and you would like run in at the last minute and then like sell all the food. Like I feel like it's that sort of thing. Like that would be fun.
I'm just imagining like a shady character that you have to go meet up somewhere on Tom Sawyer Island and like and then what are you looking for? You looking for Tron? I got Tron.
I'm looking for Tron, man. How many rides
to trade your soul for fast passes?
For some reason, they're smoking a cigarette. Yeah.
Whatever happens in the beginning with the lotto system, like that's it. Like there is no like nothing else that you get what you get.
Yeah.
And then you can just trade away, but that's it. Like you can't do anything about it. That would be awesome.
No, I would hate that.
That would be so chaotic.
It would. That would make it so much fun.
I would watch a show about that. I don't know if I would participate in that.
Kind of like a Hunger Games of Disney.
Yes, exactly.
Squid Games of Disney. Like that would be interesting.
Disney Squid Games. Yeah.
Oh my God. This one really went off the rails.
Right. Well, you know what the thing is that like
Thanks, great question.
I'm not really tired today. I don't have a lot to do. It's good. It's a good show.
Well, see, this is all the people that say you're not committed to the podcast. Now that you have no sports, like you're 100% here.
Limited sports for a little while.
Yeah. So you're 100% here though when you don't have the sports. Like that's what people don't.
Yeah, I'm not really tired either though.
That's good.
That's the other good
exciting.
Thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Top of the World Lounge returns.
Returning. So this is reckless speculation.
Reckless speculation. So,
well,
what does this mean to us?
Well, so, and a couple people pointed this out, and I didn't read it this way at first, but now I'm reading it this way. So here's what they wrote, right? So when it reopens this summer atop Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort, it won't take long for Eagle Eyes to spot chilling changes, right? So beyond the new carpeting and furnishings that give the place that new lounge smell, look for a few things left behind by deliciously devious Disney characters. So when I read that, I didn't see it as this, but everyone's saying villains themed, and it makes sense to me. Yeah.
So chilling, like are they
said Frozone to me? I thought they were going Frozone or like Frozen.
No. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. So the rest of the statement: deliciously devious Disney characters who appear to have claimed the space for their own during the temporary closure and left in a hurry when our cast returned.
That's just awesome. That's good Imagineering right there.
Yeah. And that, so I'm now like flipping through my head of all the villains. Disney villains that have association with cold.
See, that's what.
But I mean, chilling could also just mean like
scary. They could just mean scary. Yeah, I think
because they're never going to use the word scary.
Yeah, that's
right.
Mickey's not so scary, but it's not so scary. Yeah. I think it's just they're going with the villain theme.
There, I hope so. I hope it's super exciting. I almost feel like though, if they go villain, I mean, I know Disney knows, but like I feel like they're just not going to be prepared for like how many people are all down for the villains, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, they underestimate the villain hype.
I feel like they've been getting better about that, though, right? Like, I feel like they've been incorporating villains into stuff a lot more than they have.
They have, absolutely. But, there is an underlying demand there that I don't think.
What does that say for us as a culture?
That we like villains? Yeah, I don't know.
Like the bad guys? Yeah.
You know what, though? Like, what if they just, because the hotel is themed to Incredibles now, right? So, like, what if it's just Incredibles villains and no, like, other villains? Like, what if they just do, like, what's his name?
Syndrome.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but I feel like
lame.
That would be lame if they just did one villain. I feel like they're gonna have to do like all the classic villains, right?
I want some Chernobog action in there.
Oh wow, okay.
That to me, like if you're talking villains, he's got to be in there somewhere. Like he's so iconic to me.
Better have good food. Are they gonna have the same cake?
Well, they said, and that's the other thing here. They're being very vague about the details, right? But they said, stay tuned for more details, which will be communicated on this page prior to reopening, including the lounge reopening date, operating hours, and mission criteria, which is another interesting thing that they wrote there, and enhanced food and beverage offerings. So, and new events, it says too. So, and hours are subject to change. So obviously they're going to have more private paid events, right? But maybe they're just going to have more food options now, because the menu was very limited before. Like, it was
but
very
the place isn't big enough for real food.
That's true. It really isn't. And there's no kitchen up there, I don't think. I think they cook it somewhere else and come up an elevator and, bring it up there, right? So you're right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just have more options that aren't like cooked options, or
desserts, maybe. I don't know.
More desserts, yeah.
Just make sure the cake's there, man.
Yeah, I could see it being more of just dessert options, because really it's, it's top of the world, right? They do a lot of evening dessert type stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, if they're doing villains, like a dark chocolate cake totally makes sense, right?
I do wonder what the submission criteria piece is, though. I know some people were speculating. Yeah, like, maybe it's just blue card, but yeah, that's going to make people mad. They could also make it Bay Lake Tower, guests only, or, I don't know.
That would be lame.
That would be really lame if they did that.
Yeah.
Which they do that now during certain holidays. Like 4th of July, you have to be staying at Bay Lake to go up there, right?
Yeah, but if they extended that, though, that like I get that when it's busy, but you can't don't offer something like that and then be like, well, only if you're staying in this tower. Yeah.
See, I love the pop-in, right? Like, I love staying, just staying somewhere else and be like, oh, let's go get some drinks at Top of the World. Like, it would stink if you couldn't do that. And maybe they just mean like during certain times there will be limited admission, right? Like, I don't know, but and maybe hopefully the new events are not all paid events, because they, for a while, I think they did a painting thing up there. They did they had like I feel like they had a mixology kind of class thing, like, so hopefully they do more stuff like that are like events that you could just go to that are cheap, you know what I mean, and not like a $120 exclusive event up there,
yeah.
They're gonna. I know. They're gonna go more towards. I know.
Yeah, I don't see them doing anything like that anytime soon. Maybe in the future, but when it first opens, you're not going to see. They're not going to be offering anything cheap, because there's already like everything else. There's too much pent up demand. People are just going to be wanting to go up there. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I feel specifically calling out the access to it. I can't. I can totally imagine them flipping it to blue card only, just to, again, bring back more incentive for direct ownership.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely change in my mind, right? Is that they're going to make it blue card only. Like, that's just my guess, but I don't really know. I mean, they could just be saying that, maybe it's a minor change. Who knows? I have no idea, but a lot of little interesting details they put in here. And I am very interested to see what the new design is going to look like and what villains they're going to put into this, because it does feel very much like it's going to be villains. So it's funny, though. I didn't read it that way initially. Initially, I saw Chilling and I was like, oh, they're going to do like Frozen, or they're going to do like, Frozone, because it's as Incredibles of the contemporary. I mean, I don't know, but guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, that would be wrong to do an entire lounge around like one character in a series. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, and they're saying villains, right? I mean, like, they're saying, what does it say? Delicious Disney characters, right? So it's plural. So it wouldn't just be one, right? Unless, they just wrote that and didn't mean to. But I would assume it's going to be multiple villains. So, all right, let's do our ad. Right. How about we do that? I think we speculated enough. The ad this week is for Monera Financial. Monera, a World of DVC company, is the industry leader for financing DVC resale contracts. Monera offers lending with the longest terms available at 12 years, the option of no credit check, instant approval, low down payments, and no prepayment penalties. If you're thinking of purchasing a DVC contract on the resale market, go check out their quick online quote first. You may be surprised at just how affordable joining DVC can be. Go to monerafinancial.com or call 317-245-8800. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. All right. So I put in a cartoon section just for you, Damon.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So there's so much to talk about. Where do we start? Well, Trevor's going to have to close his ears if we talk about Amphibia.
Well, can we? How about we start with Chip and Dale?
Wait, no, I want to leave that to last.
Okay.
Wait, Trevor, did you finish Amphibia?
No, and I don't even think we have the last episodes available on Disney Plus yet, but that's fine.
Oh, it was. Well, I keep it pretty up and up. It was really, really good. Probably, like I said, third. So I gotta obviously keep Gravity Falls as the number one, especially in this whole story, adventure arc sort of series. Mm-hmm. I would say that Amphibia is probably third after Kipo. Kipo was just so good. I think the characters were just so good in the music, but Amphibia was solid. And this is what we kind of said about the ending of Amphibia. The ending of Amphibia itself was better than the ending of Kipo, but the show of Kipo and characters was just a little bit better than Amphibia. But top 3 of all time of this whole adventure arc sort of series, it's worth a watch. If you guys haven't started watching Amphibia, and I know on Disney Plus, I don't think it's all out yet, as per Trevor, at least not outside of the country, but I don't think even in the country, because I think my daughter was saying she had a little bit of an issue. She was talking about the last episode to one of her friends. Her friend's like, well, wait, what are you talking about? And my daughter's like, wait, what? You said you watched the last episode. She's like, no, the last episode on Disney Plus, and it got to be a thing. But well worth watching. Definitely a great show. And Owl House has kind of come around a little bit. So it was slow for a little bit, but it's picked up and it's been rather interesting show. So I would say that those are both watches, but Amphibia is a definite must watch. So just keep that in mind, and then we can talk about the Rescue Rangers, which I thought I was going to hate but didn't.
Well, that's
okay. I wanted to hate it.
About that. You wanted to hate it, yeah.
So I don't like John Mulvaney at all.
Mulaney. You keep calling him Mulvaney.
I'm going to call him Mulvaney. John Mulvaney.
It's more insulting if he uses his name wrong, right? Yeah.
I just don't like him in terms of acting. I mean, and I like Big Mouth, but I just, for some reason, it's not the same thing in Big Mouth. I don't know did anyone ever see his sitcom?
It's. No. I didn't see a sitcom because it
would make you not like him.
Yeah. It's interesting, Damon, because I used to irrationally hate him, and then I watched like a couple of his comedy specials, and then I started liking him because I liked comedy. But
that's the interesting thing. His comedy specials are actually good, but his acting,
just don't like him as a person.
no, it has nothing to do as a person. I don't know him as a person, but his sitcom acting is not the same as his comedy for whatever reason. It grates on me a little bit. So I wasn't going in, really hyped up about it, but I will tell you that I think the show is more about 80s nostalgia than I was led to believe. And my wife actually got caught watching it because me and my daughter, I was like, yesterday, I was like, we finished whatever we were watching. I was like, let's just watch this. I'm supposed to talk about it on the podcast. Like, let's just watch it. And I caught her. She laughed out loud twice, like totally just caught her laughing. And I was like, see, it's not so bad. It is one of those, there are funny things and it makes you laugh, but the story itself was not strong, right? Very Roger Rabbit-y, like kind of like really the same sort of feeling, I felt like.
Mm-hmm. It was a very...
I got that from the trailers.
It felt like an up-to-date Roger Rabbit, yeah.
And I don't love that whole... Listen, if we have cartoons... So you have CGI cartoons and live action, like it just seemed kind of weird, but okay. But the nostalgia factor of it and the Easter eggs were so on point that it made it fun to watch. Like, there's gummy bears in it. How can you be mad about a show that has gummy bears in it? You can never be mad about a show that has gummy bears in it.
Wait, Trevor, have you watched it yet or no?
No, I haven't. And again,
there's gummy bears
fine.
In it, Trevor.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like it's, and I've been reading a lot of the comments and everything about it, and I feel it like the same way that I really enjoyed Ready Player One because I'm a big video game fan, that like the whole show had just video game references layered throughout it. I feel this is the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not that the story was amazing. It was the show had enough there to keep me engaged and, looking for all the little bits and pieces. So
absolutely,
that's kind of what I expected from this too.
Yeah. Yep. And I did not really expect that heavy play into the 80s. And what's so funny about it is that like it's set up that way. It's not even like it's literally the first scene is like, hey, you're talking about the 80s. So again, Trevor, the show is more about like, hey, they had the show and now they're going to have to turn,
and then they're done. Yeah.
Yep. But it's so funny to see Gadget in the show, right? Like, and kind of what happens to her. And that was funny. I just, again, that was just funny.
Gadget still has a ride in Disneyland. Gadget's Go Coaster, which is basically the Barnstormer.
Yeah.
Does it change your perspective of Gadget's Go Coaster? Like,
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Again, it's this. The story is interesting. Some of the bootleg character stuff. So Tom, you saw
hilarious.
the Simpsons bootleg characters.
Yeah,
funny, super funny. Like that whole part. It's chuckles throughout. But then when you think about the story, you're like, and did they do a disservice to Peter Pan as a kid watching this?
I mean, the Peter Pan stuff was funny. I love Will Arnett too, so Will Arnett voicing anything makes me happy. But I mean, I guess, but the whole
middle-aged Peter Pan,
middle-aged stubbly Peter Pan,
like he's the villain. So it's like,
villain,
it's tough. Like, do kids just like you watch that? Are kids like, I want to go on Peter Pan? I think that they're going to be like, wait, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. I think that there was, it was funny, but I really do wonder if that changes kids' perceptions, right? Because think about it. If you have a kid now that really hasn't seen, there's no new Peter Pan, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So their perception of Peter Pan is this now.
Peter Pan with a gut and stubble and a villain.
There's Jake and the Neverland Pirates, which...
Okay, you're right.
That's taken over more than Peter Pan now, I think, for younger kids.
But the problem is that you're in that weird sort of like... Okay, so that's been a while, that show, right?
Yeah.
So if you never were in that era, but now you watch this, it puts you in this weird feeling of what you think about Peter Pan.
It's, you know what though? It's funny. I hadn't thought about that, Damon, but like the way they present it is that like these characters in this movie are actors that played the character in those movies, right? So like it's not the character, right? Like, so Chip and Dale are not the Rescue Rangers in real life, right? They're actors that played Rescue Rangers, right? Like, so, and then Peter Pan was just a guy that played Peter Pan.
Sure. Now explain that to a 7-year-old.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, I didn't think of it that way. Like, it just didn't. But it's a good point.
It all does kind of like, I feel it folds into, everyone's headcanon the same way that when House of Mouse came out, that, that was kind of, tying a bunch of different worlds together, and it did loop in a lot of those 80s shows and stuff, and you feel like if you watch something like this, is this, I know what you're saying, Tom, but I can also see where people associate it to.
And it's Trevor, one of the best things about it is that they go so deep meta, like it's there's this spot where like Darkwing Duck is at the end is clamoring for his show to be made, right? Which we know is being held up in production. So in real life, like what about Sonic's teeth, right? Like that was so funny because it's just what people, there's so many of those things that like, it's what's happening in the real world and what, people are talking about in terms of these, characters. And they use that in the show. And that's what was so funny about it. Like you see where you have that spot where, they're by Indiana Jones and by the Comic-Con, right? Which they didn't call Comic-Con, but right, whatever that was called. And like, you see them get into their regular Rescue Ranger clothes because that it was really a reference to Indiana Jones, but no one ever came out and said that. But now they just come out and say it. Like there's a lot of that. Like, and you're like, oh yes, that's funny.
They literally play the Indiana Jones music. It's like, but well, and also too, like to your point, the ugly Sonic thing, like that was hilarious, right? Because that's not even a Disney property, but they brought that in, and then they kept like zooming in on his teeth, and it was just,
It was really funny.
Yeah, and I mean they do a little bit of video game stuff with the whole uncanny valley thing, which was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was really good too. Just like the where things like look like the future, but like they're kind of bad. Like, you know, the CGI is kind of bad,
mm-hmm.
and the you know, some of the characters just like running into walls and stuff like that, which they did a little bit of in that what was that Ryan Reynolds movie? Free Guy, yeah, which I really like too. They make fun of that kind of stuff. But
this was way better than I thought. But I also think it was a one watcher. Like, I don't need to see it again. But it was really good.
I was thinking the opposite, Damon, because I've heard all these people saying like, "Oh, Dipper was in it," and I was like, "I didn't see Dipper in it." No, I missed Dipper completely. I mean, I saw like Randy Marsh from South Park. I
didn't love that though. I didn't love that. Like, I felt like Simpsons should have been as far as you went.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like there was a few cartoon references in there that were just like, those are not kid shows.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't think this was necessarily even meant to be a kid's movie, I guess.
Well, and the thing is, I guess it doesn't matter because it's not like they were saying anything, so the other kids wouldn't know anything about them, but maybe the older kids would. Yeah, it was well done in terms of a total Easter egg nostalgia show that made you laugh, but the story itself was... But I mean, the end villain with the cat head was still funny because it was a cat head. Like, it was just funny.
The whole, like you said, the whole knockoff movie thing was really funny. That, like all the references they made within that.
What about when he had a Snoopy ear? Like, again, so stupid, but just so funny. He's like, I have a Snoopy ear, and you're just like, that's really funny.
Yeah, you got to watch it, Trevor. I think you really like it.
Really I will. It's we just don't get to these things as they come out immediately.
I also just like, though, too, true, Damon, like that they also did like all kinds of different kinds of animation, right? Like they had claymation, they had 2D animation, they had CGI. Like it wasn't just like one thing; it was all kinds of.
The farmer's insurance guy.
Yeah. The J.K.
I mean, he's also in that new show too on Amazon, which I just started watching. Night Sky, I think.
Yeah. He's great, right? So yeah, no, I mean, it was. I really like how they mixed together all.
And you know what was so funny about the claymation too is, like, I hate to say this because it sounds so stupid saying it, but like, it's how you would expect a claymation character to fight.
Exactly. Yeah, they had him fight. Like,
I'm saying that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
It was really funny. But like you said, though, it definitely had Roger Rabbit vibes. Like, in fact, before I watched this, I actually rewatched Roger Rabbit because it had been a really long time since I'd watched it. Okay. And then watching them kind of almost back to back, like, you know, from one day to the next, it does have that vibe to it. But it's, it's definitely, I think it's an updated version of it, and it was well done. Like you said, it was really well done. So, and I'm telling you right now, I want a shirt with that logo on it too. Like I want the, you know, the lightning logo with, you know, with the Rescue Rangers. It's reintroducing Rescue Rangers to a new generation though too, in a way. So
I feel like you can find that logo pretty easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could definitely find it online, you know, but Disney doesn't really sell anything like that. Like, I was even just trying to find regular Chip and Dale stuff, and you think they would have had some Chip and Dale stuff in the parks, considering Rescue Rangers just came out on Disney Plus, but there was like nothing. Remember, Trevor, we were looking around. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I just don't know how much hype there was even around this show. Oops, I hit the microphone. Sorry.
It's okay. I'll allow it. Yeah, no, I mean, I thought there was some hype. I mean, you know, I also really like Lonely Island too. So, like, you know, the couple of the Lonely Island guys being involved in this and also directing, you know, it was to me was hyped about. So.
Did you see Obi-Wan yet?
I have not. Not.
Yeah.
Do you like it or no?
No.
I've seen mixed things. I've seen some people said they really like it, and some people, you know.
I mean, it's well done, but the problem I'm having with this, and again, they've kind of addressed this because they said that the next Star Wars movie will be set in the future. But like, dude, I know about Leia. Like,
stop retconning everything.
Yeah. Do I need to see her in the forest when I figured that she would be running around in the forest climbing trees as a kid? I kind of assumed that. I don't need you to make a show about what I assumed anyway to be truth.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I have a little bit of a problem with it. But it's the other thing that Disney's doing so well is that the show is so well done.
So well made.
It looks so awesome that it's difficult to be like totally against it. But like, I've seen all these stories. I've heard, I mean, you know, we've heard everything. Like, people that read the books definitely know way more about this stuff. And I just feel like get us to the future. So I hope that they're true. That what I kind of read was true, and that the next movies will be set away from Skywalker, but somewhere in the future where we don't have to worry about all of this. Like, listen, I'm a huge Game of Thrones person. Loved it. Yeah. Martin, super cool dude. You know, again, met him, hung out with him. All my books are signed. But like, I don't need this new HBO series. I argue with my friends about it all the time. Like, I just don't need it because I already know what happens in the world.
It's funny. I watched the trailer for that, and I was like, I'm watching the trailer, and I'm like, oh, so it's just Game of Thrones again, right? Like, it just felt like it was Game of Thrones again, though, too.
But you already know what happens. Different.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the problem I have. I don't love that sort of like stuff. Like, and I know that Lord of the Rings is going to be huge, but we know what happens. So yes, we don't know what happens to specific characters. I get all that, but we know what happens.
You don't love a prequel. You don't love a prequel.
I never love a prequel. I never, unless you gave me a Gravity Falls prequel. I'd love that.
But like, what about like Rogue One, where you like know that they're going to get the plans for the Death Star, but like you get to find out how they get it. Like you don't want to.
Why do I care?
I don't know. I think it's interesting because like even though you know stuff that happens, you read it, but you didn't see it happen.
The worst part about Rogue One was that you knew that everybody in it would not have a continuation. So it's hard to like. I loved the characters in Rogue One, but it made me mad that you knew they all died at the end. So. You know, but thanks for nothing, right?
See, Trevor, me as casual Star Wars fan did not know that, right? So, like, I expected them to get.
How could you not know that? You saw Star Wars.
I mean, but I just thought
like
maybe they were characters they didn't talk
episode
about.
4.
But I thought maybe they were just characters that they didn't talk about, right? Like, I thought maybe they were just new characters that that they never talked about in the other movies, right? Like, so I don't know. I just assumed they were going to get rescued at the end.
No, like, see, for me, I think about Gravity Falls as the perfect example. Like, well, how did Gravity Falls even become Gravity Falls?
Yeah, I mean, it's
right. So, I'd want that story because I'm cool with that. But like stories that I already know, like I don't know. The
problem I find with these Star Wars shows is, and particularly with like Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett and stuff, is that they're too close to the main line. So these are characters that, like what you're saying, Dave.
Boba Fett really isn't, though. But Boba Fett does nothing in the show. He's just an idiot, so it makes it dumb anyway.
Yeah, but again, it's everything close to the main line means that the characters all get, like you said, the problem is you already kind of know where it goes and what's happening. So you're basically just getting little tidbits. Like again, the problem with Obi-Wan is, we know what Obi-Wan was up to for years, and you're fleshing out his backstory. The problem is that the more they do that, it doesn't, taking away the mystery of it and taking away like your own headcanon makes it worse.
And it doesn't even mean anything because we know what happens to Obi-Wan. Exactly. Vader sabers him and it's over, right? Does he not save Luke? Of course he saves. Like I don't know. Yeah, but it is well done though. It does look really good.
And to that end, that's why like I liked what they did with Rebels, where Rebels was running parallel to all that stuff, and some of the characters would come in and you'd get touches of that, but it was still standalone. And that's also why, like you were saying, them going into the future and basically like, okay, we're we're dropping the current characters, and I'm sure they'll still be throwbacks, there'll still be tie-ins, there'll be one character that didn't die for whatever reason, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They'll, C-3PO will still be around, right? They'll
find, be around forever.
He'll get new batteries, and
always be around.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like you. I very much would rather see something new instead of beating the same character story arcs to death.
And the only thing that was cool is you get to see the Inquisitors, right? Like that's kind of cool. But I don't know if I needed that.
Again, yeah, like I said, I feel, sometimes it's better to have, you fill in your own gaps between, what happened to characters between certain shows and movies and stuff like that versus, them sitting down, well, let me explain it to you, right? It's like, okay, I don't need this level of explanation of the character. And I get some people like that, don't get me wrong. This is just me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either because, I do want to have a certain amount of headcanon to these stories.
I just, this number 7 on Tom's list is just so glaring at me and made me so angry. I feel like we have to talk about it now.
Because they put IP in it instead of doing...
Oh, it made me so angry. I didn't realize this. So Imagineering had Big Bang Ride, not the show, on the coaster concepts in mind before Guardians of the Galaxy IP was introduced. And that just angers me beyond belief, because how well would that have fit into Epcot?
Perfect. It would have been perfect, yeah. So his quote was, this is from one of the Imagineers, we had the idea for, we didn't even call it the Omni Coaster then, but a coaster that could turn and rotate you into the show. So that idea, along with an idea for a coaster that was about the Big Bang, singularity, kind of going through the cosmos, those were the two ideas that were out there. Then we got the assignment and thought, how do we put Guardians of the Galaxy here at Epcot? We kind of mashed all those ideas together. So that was the quote.
So if it stopped at the Big Bang, they could have like done a continuation of a universe of energy,
kind of,
and made an improved universe of energy using new ride system and all that kind of stuff. But instead, we got Guardians. I can see where you could be upset about this, Damon.
Yeah, I'm
because
really
you don't really like Guardians of the Galaxy. Say I like Guardians of the
Not
Galaxy.
that I don't like it. I've never seen it, and I have no interest in seeing it because the whole Marvel universe is too big for me to care about now. Like, I watched the first 2 Iron Men, and then I'm like, I'm out. Too much.
Too far behind. You're too far behind at this point to catch up. You have to watch like 20 some movies and like 5 shows and like.
And I'm just not doing that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I really like Guardians though, and I do think.
But it's not Epcot.
No, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think the story that they've concocted is as the best they could do for fitting it into Epcot, is making it like an alien race made like a pavilion at Epcot. Okay, sure.
Bit of a stretch, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's a bit of a stretch, but I like, from what I've seen, the way they present it in the ride is they make it make as much sense as it can possibly make, right? So, but yeah, I know what you're saying, Damon, because like people are pining for these things that don't have IP involved with them, right? That are original rides that are. Yeah. I
mean, would people have not gone on this? Like, what I'm trying to figure out, is it just the sell of Marvel, like to get more people invested in Marvel? I don't see where this benefits them, because if you like Marvel, you like Marvel. Like, is this bringing more people there because of that? Or is this kind of just because they can't do Marvel stuff on this coast? Like, I don't know.
I think it does.
That could be part of it. Yeah, that could be part of it, is that, with some of the restrictions they have around certain characters, it may have just been easier to just say, hey, Guardians is an IP that, doesn't touch Spider-Man, doesn't touch, anywhere near X-Men or Avengers or anything. So,
one of the few that they can use.
Yeah, but why use it here? Like, that's the benefit. Like,
because there's laws against them.
No, but,
or not laws, but
he means at Epcot.
Why use it at Epcot?
Yeah, because that's where they had space. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like, again, like you're kind of crapping on Epcot and what it is.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I understand what you're
does Ratatouille crap on Epcot?
No, because it's completely, it takes place in France, right? And you're in the French pavilion, so I don't feel like it does.
I mean, it has undertones of French cuisine and Paris and all that kind of stuff. Guardians is completely detached from anything to do with anything, because it's entirely, space adventure.
But I also think, though, like, to Damon's point, right? Like, why do this, right? So I think it's the same reason why you put Star Wars in the park, right? Like, not everybody's into Star Wars, but Star Wars is going to bring in somebody that maybe wouldn't have gone to a Disney park before, is now willing to go to a Disney park because they want to go to the Star Wars stuff, right? Like, one of my best friends is that way, right? Like, he would have never gone to Disney World, but he really wanted to go and build a lightsaber, right? Like, so it's similar, right? Where somebody's like, well, I don't really want to go to Disney, but I want to go.
But if you really want to do Marvel, though, you would go to Avengers Campus in Disneyland.
Sure. Or you would
go for one ride.
Yeah, but I still think it draws people, right? But listen, I understand. Like, I'm kind of weird about this one.
It just shouldn't have been at Epcot.
Yeah.
And then when you bring me an idea that sounds perfect, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why this is getting reported out, because I think a lot of the people that are on that side that are more Disney purists about the IP stuff, it's more like, it's like, oh, man, they had a ride that they could just do an original idea and not have it be like
when do you think we're going to get the next non-IP ride ever?
I don't know, man. I don't think as long as Chapek's in charge, because he's apparently the one that really wants to put IP into everything, right? Like, And like, given like the new Moana thing is not even really, I mean, I don't know how Moana it's going to be, but it doesn't seem like the characters are going to be there. They're calling it inspired by Moana, right? So
it'll hit you over the head with Moana. Don't worry.
You think so? I mean, you think there's going to be like a Moana statue there? Like, I mean, I don't know.
There'll be what are the little coconut guys called?
Kakamora.
Kakamora.
Yeah.
There'll be something with oh my gosh.
So do you think we're ever going to get a non-IP based Disney ride ever?
Yeah. So I guess
at this point, no.
The question is will they do like, so are what you're saying, Damon, is, will we get something that has nothing to do with any movie ever, or specifically not Marvel and not Star Wars? Because like
Marvel, or Pixar,
Okay, so hold on. So I'll look at it two different ways, right? So was Universe of Energy, would you consider that just unique, or was that IP based as well? Because it had Jeopardy and it had Ellen.
That was unique. That was a unique story, right?
So I'm okay with that. Do we get anything like that ever again?
Well, because like, you look at other stuff in Epcot, right? Like Mission Space, that's a unique story, right? That's not IP based. That's just a space story. Spaceship Earth.
Test Track.
Yeah. Test Track. Like those are all things that are not.
Remember in Test Track was good and it had like the cool stuff before.
Oh yeah. Crash Test. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so much better at the beginning.
But I mean,
okay.
Yeah, so to your point, I don't know.
What? Yeah, well,
nothing that's been announced anyway is not going to be IP based.
And would you consider something from the old catalog IP, right? So if you were to give me a new Snow White ride,
and that was kind of what I was getting at, is like, if they took like a show like Encanto, which is a Disney show, it's still their own IP. It's not.
I don't want it in Epcot though.
Yeah, fair.
Even in the Mexican pavilion though, like where it would fit.
It's not Mexican. It's Colombian.
Yeah.
Well, no. God, I'm sorry. I was thinking Coco. Sorry, thinking Coco. Yeah. So I'm thinking Coco in the Mexican pavilion, but yeah, no, Colombian. You're right. Like they would have to have a Colombia pavilion.
Yeah.
Like
in a steakhouse. I mean,
we talked about this before. Yeah, they got to add Colombian. But to your point though, like I think the only things we're gonna get are reimaginings of the current ones, right? Like so, like Spaceship Earth is not going to be IP when they redo it, right? Like it's just going to be.
How do you know?
Because I mean, the concept art, they haven't done anything with IP there, right? So like,
okay.
And I mean, even just I'm not
Spaceship Earth, Star Wars,
Spaceship Earth. Oh my god!
Oh boy!
People will be so mad about that though.
So let's
Soarin'. I mean, pretty much most of the stuff in Epcot is not IP based, right? That's new.
You're right. But let's pretend for a minute that Magic Kingdom, they decide that they've got some extra space behind Big Thunder, right? Okay. Like they want to expand that,
sure,
and they want to put something there.
Yep.
Like what could they do that's not associated with an IP? Like how would they do that? Because the thing is that there's so many.
What IP is Big Thunder again?
It's nothing. That's an original ride. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it was what I'm saying though? Like
Rainbow Ridge. I feel there was something, again, not Big Thunder. There was a Rainbow Cavern tour, and there was some like old movies in the 60s that had some tie to it.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not IP though. Like, right? Like that's not a property that people.
It's not current IP for sure.
Yeah. So if you got me a non-current IP, that's okay too. But I just, man, don't. You know what? Don't put another Marvel ride back there.
Oh no! Like, yeah, I don't. That would be
yeah. I guess that's fair. If they do keep beating us over the head with, Marvel, Star Wars. Like, okay, we get it. You own Marvel and you own Star Wars. Like, I know they're popular, but
to
do something different.
Is that what people want, though? I mean, like, the parks have never been more popular, right? So, that's what people want, right?
It is, yeah.
Like, it's much harder to market a generic Big Bang ride than it is to market a Guardians of the Galaxy ride, right? Like, because...
Oh, yeah, dude. First of all, how many times do I have to see that commercial?
It's there. I have seen it a lot, right?
I'm glad I don't have TV where I get commercials. So
there's been a lot of commercials on just regular TV for the Guardians coaster, right? Like there's been a lot of it. I mean, at least in the States, right?
Well, if you're watching live, again, Trevor. So for me, like if I'm watching live sports, like you don't have a choice.
I don't have cable anymore, so the stuff we watch is not like I don't get I don't get those kinds of commercials.
I just think it's so much easier for them to market a ride that has an IP attached.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this though? So do you think now think about this for a second. Let's just say you create a new IP. Let's just say we're gonna do something along the lines of Figment, right? Mm-hmm. But all right, I'm gonna say this, but even cooler than Figment, right?
Expanded universe Figment. Figment's
something different.
Something. Yeah.
Isn't there a lot of money to be made around the marketing of a new IP that could then turn itself into a show rather than the other way around? I guess it's easier for the way they're doing it, though.
It is, right? Because if they just built a space-oriented land, where Galaxy's Edge is, right? Like they built Galaxy's Edge.
But you got Space 220 though, right? As a restaurant, which was surprising. I'm really surprised, honestly, that wasn't tagged along with some Marvel nonsense.
Star Wars, like they can't do Marvel, right? They can really only do so much Marvel.
Well, so. It could have been the Guardians restaurant.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's the easy way, right? It's the easy way to market stuff. It's you could put it out there, but like if they just made Galaxy's Edge and it was just Spaceland, right? Like that's harder to market than Star Wars Land.
That was so huge that I can almost understand that.
Yeah, I understand why they're doing it. I like the original stuff though too, and isn't
it funny though that have you heard a lot about the Star Wars Hotel anymore?
I mean, apparently, they were talking about it in the thing that it's booked up. But I mean, I think once you get past like the initial, it's not people talking about it on the internet a bunch anymore, right?
So, the most I've seen is I've seen various vlogger posts on YouTube about, hey, we went to Galaxy's Edge, but none of it's been. I haven't seen any like clickbait titles around it, which usually implies like, we had the worst time or whatever. It's mainly people just saying, we went and we did it, which implies that people are enjoying it at least. So
you're not getting any of those headlines about how much it sucks. But I get it though. But at this point it's almost interesting though. Cause like, is Spaceship Earth its own IP now? Because it's been there for so long. Like, is it its own IP? You know what I mean? Like,
you can't really be an IP without any sort of media around it. I feel like though.
But the ball itself,
Pirates and Haunted evolved into IPs.
That's what I'm saying. Though the ball itself IPs. Is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's become I don't know.
But they also those rides though also had a story within the ride.
Yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy is its own IP. Like Jungle Cruise is its own IP now, right?
What IP would the ball be?
I don't know.
Time travel, history of the Earth.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if I'd consider it an IP.
But do you consider Jungle Cruise an IP now? And I mean, Pirates is an IP now, right?
No, Jungle Cruise is still Jungle Cruise. The movie was nice. I don't consider. I mean, it didn't hit the same way that Pirates did. I guess
the
question, what makes it IP, right? Like when does it become IP?
I think media. So I would say that it hit IP status once it had its own movie, but before that, no. So until there's a movie about Spaceship Earth, I don't consider it IP in my head.
But see, I also look at it like this though too, right? Like, so there's a Jungle Cruise attraction in almost all the parks around the world, right? So to me, that makes it IP because you build the original one and then you copy it in a bunch of different places because that's an intellectual property that they own. You know what I mean? And then they are.
I need media attached to mine.
It's tough.
Yeah, I need media attached to mine. Sorry.
I get it. But yeah, no, listen, it'll be interesting because we were talking about this, I think, on maybe a podcast you weren't on, but like, what's next after Tron, right? Like, they haven't announced anything else after. Like, once Tron's done, like, what comes after that? Because they haven't announced anything new, right? So,
and it's going to be interesting because once Tron's over, look, I'm looking hard at Universal and Nintendo Land. Like, I'm looking hard.
Yeah,
right?
That is totally me as well. We I've said to my son, once that opens, like, that is our target. We are going there for that. And
you're going to see me and Trevor at Universal, and Tom will be over in Disney, and we'll have a Universal / Welcome Home podcast meetup.
We'll have our Mario caps on, just going all in on it. Yeah.
I don't know. don't know. I'm starting to wear down. Star Wars announcements. Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about Star Wars. Yeah, we're getting.
I think this is the longest I've ever been on a show ever. Maybe.
No, I don't think so. But all right. So, who wants to read this? One of you guys.
So
it's the only Disneyland stuff I care about.
Yeah, Star Wars Edge or Galaxy's Edge has new characters coming to it in Disneyland only.
Yeah. Boba Fett, Fennec.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the list here.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
The fact if they bring out Grogu only at Disneyland, that's gonna be crazy.
That's rude.
That is rude. It's just rude to Disney World people. I feel like they're gonna bring it. They have to bring it to Disney World.
They don't have to.
Is it going to be like an animatronic one that he's carrying around? Like, what is this going to be like?
I don't know.
I assume it'll be like the little stroller with an animatronic in it.
I mean, they can have one he holds though too. I mean, like they have it small enough now that they can do that.
Yeah.
What if Grogu's just a drone flying around in his little
drone?
Maybe. Did you guys ever see Adam Savage? Because he did, or I saw it on his YouTube channel. He did an animatronic Grogu a while back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wonder if
they could do it.
Yeah. I wonder if that's
now
related.
You got me going to look that up.
Because they did this like 20 years ago with, there was a Figment that like the Dreamfinder would walk around with that was like kind of
just a puppet. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like a puppet. Yeah. Like they could do it. It's not like they haven't done it before.
This animatronic is like, it's pretty
super advanced.
Next level. Yeah.
I'm sure they could do it though. I mean, yeah, I'll be interested to see what it's going to look like.
Wait, so his Grogu though is in a pack, huh?
It's in when he means in a pack. Yeah,
yeah.
In a baby Bjorn
backpack. Yeah,
it's in a baby Bjorn.
Yeah,
he's got to hide all the stuff underneath there somewhere, right?
Well, no, he has it out of the backpack too, but I'm just seeing it in this baby Bjorn.
Yeah, that's so he could carry it around.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I mean, I feel like Disney could do better, but
yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty good.
That's Adam Savage just doing his thing,
himself,
right?
Himself, yeah.
I feel like he could, he has the know-how to bring it to that next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty good.
What about these hilts that
baby Bjorn? I love it.
So there's some new merch too. And by the way, I didn't put this in there because it's kind of a rumor, and it seems like one of the Imagineers just kind of slipped. But it also seems like they're going to be adding new scenes to Star Tours too. So
okay,
he kind of just said something vaguely towards that at this Star Wars Celebration thing. But the other one here is you can vote on the new hilt that's going to be in the place where you can build the lightsabers. So you can vote. I don't know which one you guys like in here.
Okay.
I'm just looking through all these. Well, they've got ones from the Clone Wars, they have Bad Batch, and then they have, I guess, just from the regular Star Wars movies. And what is this like?
I was still watching too much Grogu.
I don't care that much about lightsaber hilts.
I don't either. Sorry.
I'm with you. I don't really care because I'm not going to make one. So.
More importantly, they're letting you vote on your churro flavors.
That's more important. Yeah, that's more important to me. And I put this in here just because I need to know which ones you guys.
I don't like churros.
Oh man, what churros?
I like a churro every once in a while. These churros are a little too busy for me.
Let me see if I like any. Because usually the reason I don't like churros is because they're too cinnamony.
So we got double chocolate churro. So this is, chocolate sugar coating with yummy milk chocolate sauce. Then we got the Golden Dragon, which is, it is a rolled in panko crumbs with a sriracha mayo drizzle.
No.
That sounds gross.
Yeah. Stop.
Then we have a peanut butter lovers one, which is a churro rolled in cinnamon sugar, drizzled with milk chocolate and peanut butter sauce, and with Reese's Pieces on it. Even though
I think it didn't need the Reese's Pieces on it, but sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we got a caramel apple churro, which is that one's good. Apple sugar drizzled with caramel sauce. Mint chocolate churro. I like that.
Love mint and chocolate.
But then on a churro, like again, that goes into cinnamon and mint, and
this last one though is my favorite. I'm on board with this.
So this is this one is the Chocolicious strawberries and cream churro, which is a churro rolled in cinnamon sugar, a drizzle of strawberry topping, milk chocolate, and marshmallow fluff. I'm in on that too. That sounds good,
I'm in on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
All right, guys, that's all you guys. I would not go for any of these.
Man, see, I would eat all of these. There's not one. The only one I wouldn't eat is the sriracha one because that one sounds gross. But the rest, I'm in.
All right, what else do we have?
I would try that one just to get the reaction out of you, Tom, that I got when I was eating Japanese food in Epcot.
Oh, you were eating that weird steak that you had? Yeah.
Exactly.
Damon would have reacted the same way, though, because he was eating like the steak, Damon, that looked like it wasn't even cooked, and it just was like sliced really thin. Yeah. And I was just like, this looks nasty. Why are you eating
it? It was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I mean,
I enjoyed your reaction to me eating it more than anything.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there watching him eat this. I'm like, ugh, why are you eating this? This is gross. All right, so you want to talk about this food, Damon? I know you.
I don't, not really, because I'm looking at it all looks pretty terrible.
It all looks. What do you mean it looks terrible?
So this is specifically at the H2O Afterglow or H2O Glow After Hours.
There's too much neon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's H2O.
The sipper cup though is fire.
Where's the sipper cup? I got to go all the way down here. Let's see.
The Miss Tilly sipper cup.
Oh wow. Fire. Dude, that is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
I'm most excited about that. That's what I'm most excited for, because I'm not really excited by a glow hot dog. A hot dog that glows? No, that's really not on my list of things.
I need to go back up because I went all the way down now. So I haven't looked at any of this. So.
That green hot dog is just...
Nah, I'm not down with the hot dog that glows in the dark.
Well, wait, the hot dog itself isn't green. It's just got green stuff on it. It's got...
Dude, look at it. It looks like candy on it.
Let me see what it is. Okay,
there's two of them.
They're both terrible.
Yeah.
the bun is green, right? So yeah. So we have one that's a pork and beef footlong hot dog.
Why do I need a tie-dye bun like that? Just is crazy.
It's a little weird. Party cheese, and the cheese is like red. What is that?
No, I'm out on these.
Oh, man. That's cheese. Whoa.
Yeah, that's apparently cheese that they just dyed red. Okay, that's. I'm with you on that one. That one's a little weird. Let me see. But there's some cool stuff in here though. Like,
no, I don't need neon on my food. I don't need tie-dye buns.
Oh man,
I do need that Miss Tilly sipper cup though.
Yeah, again, everything on this menu just has dye in it, like these rainbow lo mein noodles. Yeah,
have you ever made anything like with dye and it just tastes bad and you don't know why?
Yeah,
like because
all you can taste is the food coloring.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about the neon party bathtub sundae at the very top there? Birthday cake, vanilla swirled soft serve, confetti cake, white chocolate.
Need chocolate neon ducks and a glow cube in my bathtub.
All right, the glow cube's a little. I'm okay with the ducks, but the glow cube is a little excessive. I feel.
I'm gonna go buy some Peeps, and I'm gonna shove some cake in a tub.
Yep, that's what you're gonna do. Yeah. What about the Mickey waffles? Different colors.
No, there's no need.
Again, yeah. The problem is for as much as they try to get this color, there is always a taste. You will always taste the dye in this. And
there's also an after effect of these things too sometimes.
There is that.
Say what, but there are things that happen that are different colors than they should be.
But you already said the H word. You already said the H word today. Am
I allowed to say? I think that's allowed.
Yeah,
I think that one's allowed.
We're PG. It's fine.
Yeah,
but I don't need to be questioning that I'm dying because I've gone to the bathroom and it's come out rainbow colors.
It's come out green. I mean, okay, what about like this watermelon poke bowl, right? Like,
no, I'm out. I'm out on all of it.
All right, I'm in for the unicorn.
Except the cup. I'm in for the cup.
Listen, that sipper is Do you drink out of the smokestack of the boat? Like,
I feel like there should be a straw coming out of there.
That's what I'm saying. That's where
I feel like that could absolutely be something that like I would put on a shelf.
Yeah, because it's very well.
Who's going to one of these? Like, I need somebody going to one of these. Get me one of those. I want one of those.
Well, David also needs you need the Epcot bucket hat too.
I need the Epcot hat. I need the coasters, the e-ticket coasters.
Oh yeah,
those need a lot of things, man.
Yeah, although I will say this, Damon, I bought and Trevor can attest to this. I bought the Skyliner popcorn bucket, which was huge, and I put it around my neck and I was walking around with it and I looked ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there was so many people that had them though. It wasn't just you. Like,
they were incredibly popular. They were everywhere. Yeah. And I bought it specifically because my wife wanted some Disney popcorn and it was huge.
Wait, so you took it home on the plane with popcorn in it?
Well, I drove, but I drove. Yeah. So no, although it was funny because I said to Trevor, I was like, how am I going to transport this? Because the lid on it was not, there was no like latch. So like, no joke. I drove home with it strapped into my daughter's car seat.
Nice.
I told you to just put it in one of the Disney bags and just wrap it up. It would have been fine.
How long did it take you to drive, Tom?
On the way there, it took me like 9 hours. On the way back, it was probably about 7.5, 8.
Okay.
It wasn't so bad. Well, on the way back, I was coming from a different place. I had driven to my mom's the night before, which is, an hour north. So
that doesn't count then.
Yeah, it was not as bad on the way back. But yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. So. All right. Well, do you want to wrap this up then? I mean, I would love to talk about the Guardians merch. I know Damon doesn't care, but
I think we can skip on that.
Yeah, we can wrap this thing up. We're almost at 2 hours, so yeah. Let's wrap her up.
All right. As usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com.
This is what the wrap up sounds like. I kind of forget.
Yeah,
all the Damon haters are going to be really, mad about this episode because you made it all the way through. And
no, it's going to be like the problem is we had such a good episode from when you guys came back. It's not going to do the same numbers.
That was a good episode, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll put paper FastPass in the title just to make you happy.
There you go.
and again, because you weren't here for the end of this last week, Tom and I commented on how. We do this live every time because there's always little weird things that happen. And of course, when you're here, we always get interrupted and derailed. So
yeah, that's what happens.
This is why we do the follow or the wrap up live. So
yep.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. You can find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing your questions, your trip reports. You guys do a great job of reaching out to us. You can always find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, and you can check out the Facebook group Welcome Home Disney Waitlist that we talked about earlier, and join in on the comments and memes and everything else about the show. Our other social media platforms, you can follow us on YouTube for the same reasons. A lot of stuff that gets posted from live streams and stuff gets posted on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. And if you want to support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out some of our merchandise, all the mugs and shirts and stuff. And if you are somebody who likes Patreon, you can also go check out patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out our different levels of support, which also come with exclusive merch and give you access to the Discord server, which is yet another way to come and hang out and talk with us.
And pins someday.
And pins, yeah.
All the Patreon people that haven't gotten their pins yet, I am sorry. I will get them out to you.
Speaking of pins in the meetup, whatever happened? Did you give out pins?
We did give out pins.
Yeah. I don't have a pin. I don't have a pin. That's like, it really hurts.
I got to send some to you. Yes, I need to get some to you. Yeah, but yeah, no, I did give out pins, and Trevor gave out some hats. Yeah, Trevor gave out some hats.
Yeah, Damon, I have a pin and you don't. Just think about that for a minute.
That does hurt my feelings a little bit.
By the way, Damon, are you doing your "What's in My Attic" thing on our YouTube channel or not, or elsewhere?
No, I could do a special one when I find a box of Disney stuff, though.
Okay, all right.
Our YouTube channel stinks.
Well, that's why we need more content, like from your stuff. So,
yeah. I could definitely think about that. I have to make sure, I find a box that has Disney stuff in it, though. Or you know what I could do? I like this even better. How's this? What I'll do is I'll separately. So, when I go, what I'm gonna the game plan is I'm gonna go through a box or two boxes of stuff, right? And I'm doing this also so I can clean my attic. So then I'm going to label them all. What I'll do is when I have find Disney stuff, I'll cut that out of my original ones and I'll put that together in its own Disney montage.
I like it. It. Done. What was the last thing on here? Reviews?
Okay. Yeah. So last thing is, anytime if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, we appreciate a 5-star review. Obviously any review is better than no review as long as it's constructive. We've heard all the same things. We get people don't like things about the show, and that's fine. But if you have constructive feedback for us, we appreciate it. We also appreciate, even if you don't, leave us a rating because it helps more people find the show.
I just prefer if you're going to give us a 2-star review, you email us your criticisms instead of posting it as a review. But
it's just so terrible. It's so terrible. I feel like, dude, Francisco just posted a McDonald's order in our group.
Yeah, because it's about the toys. It's the 50th anniversary toys.
But I'm just looking at this meal going, Dude, you ordered a quarter pounder and a Big Mac? I mean, the Fanta Orange, I give the thumbs up to, like, because again, but what's that second person drinking? Or you're eating the quarter pounder and the Big Mac?
It's possible. Yeah. Maybe he's hungry.
I'm a total, like, thumbs up. The one thing I miss about McDonald's, which I probably have not eaten McDonald's in at least 10 years, is Fanta Orange. It's just, there's nothing better than McDonald's Fanta Orange.
It's random.
We called it the orange drank.
Yeah, orange drink.
That orange drink. You know when you would go to like an event and they would have the big tub of it, and you would get the little cups.
It's almost though not the same.
It's not. It's not the same anymore. It's changed over the years.
Well, I'm just saying it always was better at McDonald's.
It was, yeah.
Well, yeah. My wife always talks about how the Coke is better at McDonald's, right? Like
it is, but that's because it's in steel containers, right?
Yeah,
stainless steel containers rather than plastic bags.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
I got lawns to mow.
Don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any place you can find podcasts, you can find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult the DVC representative, Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Big thank you to our sponsors, Monera Financial, for sponsoring this episode, as well as World of DVC, for continuing to support the show. So thank you to them. Please check them out. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl, eating